The Everett Multiverse. The Everett Multiverse is an idea from physicist Hugh Everett in the 1950s. It suggests that instead of just one path, the universe splits into many each time a quantum choice happens. So every possible outcome gets its own branch. In simpler terms, when something quantum happens, the universe doesn't just pick one result. It goes down every possible path, creating lots of parallel universes, each with its own story. So, instead of just one universe, there are countless others, all running alongside ours, each with its own unique history. The inflationary multiverse. The inflationary multiverse theory emerged in the late 1980s, building upon the concept of cosmic inflation during the universe's early moments. This idea suggests that right after the Big Bang, there was a rapid expansion of space called cosmic inflation. Different parts of the early universe underwent this inflation independently, causing them to expand at varying rates. As a result, numerous separate and isolated regions formed, each containing matter and evolving on its own path. According to this theory, our observable universe is just a small part of a much larger multiverse composed of countless separate inflationary bubbles. The string multiverse. The concept of the string multiverse stems from string theory, one of the most promising frameworks for understanding quantum gravity. You might recall it being mentioned on the Big Bang theory. In string theory, various spacetime configurations, known as vacua, are possible. It suggests that during the early stages of the universe, numerous distinct regions could have formed, each governed by its own set of physical laws and constants. This means that what we perceive as our universe is just a localized area within a much larger collection known as the multiverse. Each of these regions or parallel universes might have spontaneously emerged during the phase transition that shaped space-time and evolved independently, potentially with differing laws. Together, they form the diverse landscape of the string multiverse. The parallel universe. Multiverse. The concept of a parallel universe multiverse suggests the existence of countless universes that coexist independently without interacting with each other. It proposes that there are numerous universes beyond our observation, each following its own unique evolutionary path with different physical laws and constants. Every small decision or random occurrence could lead to the splitting of the universe into multiple alternative timelines, much like in Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. For every probabilistic event, there exists a universe representing each potential outcome. Essentially, whenever there's a divergence in events, a new parallel universe emerges where that event unfolded differently. In essence, the multiverse of parallel universes comprises a collection of realities that are mutually inaccessible, encompassing all conceivable quantum narratives resulting from the branching of time. The Brain Multiverse. The Brain Multiverse theory suggests that our universe might be composed of multiple membranes floating in extra dimensions. This theory posits that during the Big Bang, numerous different membranes with their own distinct rules were formed. Each combination of these membranes gave rise to a separate universe, akin to layers of a multidimensional onion. The membrane where we reside would just be one among many. In other membranes, incredibly peculiar occurrences could take place, such as beings with 3 eyes or other fantastical phenomena. Moreover, each membrane would evolve independently, with no awareness of the others. Consequently, while we discuss physics here, in another layer, scientists might uncover scenarios where zombies can fly. The cyclical multiverse. The concept of the eternal resets multiverse suggests that our universe won't come to an end with the big freeze, but instead, it will repeat itself endlessly, forever. As our current universe expands to its limits and exhausts its energy, it will start contracting due to gravity. Eventually, all of space-time will shrink until all matter and energy converge into a hot, dense point, triggering a new Big Bang. This cycle of collapse and subsequent explosion will kickstart a brand new universe, but one that's destined to go through the same pattern repeatedly. Maximum expansion, contraction, and a fresh explosion. Thus, there won't be a definitive end. Rather, our world will continue to loop endlessly, like an infinite series of cosmic births and rebirths. The mathematical multiverse. The mathematical multiverse is more than just a multiverse. It's a rather peculiar and abstract theory about the potential origins of the universe. If we focus solely on mathematics, physical reality is made up of purely mathematical elements. Numbers, functions, equations. All the formal structures that mathematics can describe would be considered genuinely existing entities. Our universe is just one of these mathematical structures, but the other structures are as real as ours. So it all starts from a mathematical scenario within a hyperspace containing all possible equations and constants. At some point, by sheer chance, the formulas could lead to consistent and predictable configurations that might evolve into real universes. The holographic multiverse. The holographic multiverse basically suggests that our entire world could function like a massive hologram. You know those holograms that look like three-dimensional objects but are really just light reflected on the surface? Well, it's kind of like that, but on a cosmic level. The concept is that instead of being solid, all of spacetime is more like the information stored in a hologram. In a hologram, the complete image is embedded in every tiny fragment. So according to this theory, our universe operates in a similar way. Every little part of the cosmos, no matter how small, holds a miniature version of all the information in the entire universe. Even if we were to slice a piece off, theoretically, we could reconstruct the whole universe from it, similar to enlarging a section of a hologram. This suggests that other parallel universes could also be interwoven within this cosmic hologram. The simulation multiverse. The idea is that in the future, when artificial intelligence and computing power are incredibly advanced, civilizations will likely be able to create virtual worlds of astonishingly realistic complexity. And who's to say that we might not already be living inside one of those simulations created by some super futuristic civilization, you know? If it were almost identical to how the real world operates, we inside wouldn't have a way of knowing it's not truly real. And the craziest part is that beings within those simulations could in turn create their own simulations, generating a multiverse of simulated worlds within simulated worlds. The truth is, it's a very wild idea, but if technology advances to such an extent, it couldn't be ruled out. We'd essentially become characters in the Matrix without even realizing it. Theological or metaphysical multiverse. The metaphysical multiverse suggests there are realities beyond what we can see. Besides our physical world, there might be other non-physical dimensions that subtly affect how the universe works. Some religions and beliefs talk about these non-physical realms as spiritual dimensions or astral planes. They think that after we die, our soul or spirit continues existing in these places, which could be home to beings like angels, demons, or gods. So, many people think that when we pass away, something like our soul keeps going in other non-physical places. In religions such as Hinduism, they talk about many different metaphysical planes filled with strange beings. The Event Horizon Multiverse. In the Event Horizon Multiverse, the idea is that black holes aren't just space objects. They're like doorways to other universes. When something gets sucked into a black hole, it actually passes through a point called the event horizon and gets thrown out, but to a totally different place. That other place could be a whole different universe with its own rules. Each black hole connects our world to other worlds out there. It's like there's a big network of connections between universes, all thanks to black holes, kind of like interdimensional highways. We'd be like travelers of the multiverse, the chaotic multiverse. The chaotic multiverse is a theory suggesting that some chaotic systems might create parallel universes. You see, when there are systems with unpredictable behaviors that are very sensitive to tiny changes, like the weather, strange things can happen. According to this theory, during chaotic moments where a small change can make a big difference, the universe could split. So, each new reality would go down a different path because of those small random changes. Over time, these different paths would become more and more separate, turning into completely different universes, each with its own rules. In this way, chaotic systems could be constantly making new parallel universes with each split, creating a whole bunch of alternative realities that come from randomness and chaos. That's another crazy theory. That's it. Hit the subscription button to stay informed as we aim to easily explain everything for you.